This is coverage of the 2022 NADA show on CBT News.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick at the 2022 NADA convention in Las Vegas, and we're at the Digital Dealer System with Todd Katcher, who's the founder and CEO of the company. Thank you, Todd, for visiting with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you, Jim.
Sure, it's great to catch up now because last time we talked, we were in the studio in Atlanta. You shared a lot of great ideas and told us about your company. We got a lot of great feedback from that, by the way.
Awesome.
So thanks for coming in. But I want to delve a little bit further. You got a lot of activity here at the booth.
Sure.
We hear so much at all of these 600 booths about customer experience, something you and I talked about in the studio and the importance of it. But it seems like everybody focuses so much online and not in store.
Right.
And as a former dealer myself, it drives me crazy that that's the case. You know, talk to us about the importance of an in-store presence to enhance that experience.
Just to go off what you were saying, I mean, people spend so much money driving traffic to the store.
That's right.
To try to say how they're unique and how their experience is unique, and then somebody walks in the store and the message is just dropped.
That's right.
They have a great opportunity to spend just a fraction of their budget inside the store.
Yeah.
So a dealership that came up today was spending $150,000 a month just to drive traffic to the store.
Right.
And circling that message to make a true 360 marketing message would only cost them a couple $100, less than $1,000 inside the store to make more value for the $150 that they're spending outside.
That's right.
And as you mentioned, that extra $1,000 that they spend is a minimal amount to their overall budget.
That's right. It's not going to make any difference one way or the other.
It's not going to change
if you spend
the lead generation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whether you spend $149,000 outside and $1,000 inside, I can't say enough about this product, and I was excited to talk to you about it because of the fact that I'm putting my dealer hat on and saying, don't you want that experience once that consumer walks in your showroom doors? You've paid millions of dollars for these showrooms. How come you're not taking it to the finish line?
Exactly.
And to see all that you bring to the in-store experience for those consumers is amazing. I mean, talk to us about some of the success stories that you've got.
Oh, we have customers who have invested in digital signs, and it was actually after NADA a couple years ago that they said we want the Vegas experience inside our store because everywhere you go in Vegas has digital signs.
Yeah.
And so where's the digital signs? Inside and outside, because they tell the story outside to bring people inside, and then inside the marketing message is different. So they wanted that, and they went from selling 70 cars a month to over 100 cars a month.
Wow.
And they wound up making more money per car.
That's right.
They wound up taking competitor business from large group businesses from a mom and pop store. And so they wound up driving traffic, and more people were coming back because they enjoyed the experience.
That's right.
They actually invested more in our services shortly afterwards because they saw what it did in sales.
That's right.
They started investing it in service, and they saw immediate return for their investment.
That is fantastic. Some of the things that we touched on that some of the dealers text me on and sent me emails on say, those were great points. Talk more about that. You know, when you've got a message from the president or the dealer principal, most consumers never meet the dealer principal, right, in most stores, unless it's a personal friend of the dealer. But for the most part, they just don't know who Harry Brown Toyota is, who the Harry Brown might be, right?
Yes.
But in this case, you're able to put that CEO's message throughout the showroom.
Of course,
Also, if there's a problem, who are you going to reach out to? There's the guy right there.
It makes it a more personal experience. I had a conversation with a dealer group today, and we were talking about adding value to the screens they already have. So in their customer lounge, creating their own system in the customer lounge that actually speaks to the customers in their lounge. So those customers are actually customers who are unique from the exterior customers, right? Outside, you're trying to draw them in. Once they're inside, so we talked about creating messages from each of their sales staff. So the service manager has a message to their lounge customers. Hey, thank you for visiting today. And you're president of the store, or the general manager says thank you, and the general sales manager says, hey, if you trade in your car today, maybe you get free service today.
That's right.
Because most customers feel that they have to pay for service on their vehicle and then sell their car.
That's right.
But that's not the case in most situations. They could roll that into the new car, or however the dealer does that.
That's right.
So then you go ahead and take it to the next level, and you have all the staff members creating a 15-second bio. And now the staff members, you talk about staff retention, now the staff is considered part of the store, and their messages throughout the store. And then through the reverse, they use that in their YouTube channel. So now when before people come in the store, they're now going ahead and using and introducing their staff on the website and on their YouTube channel, and now their staff becomes a celebrity.
That's fantastic. And then you haven't even touched on customer testimonials.
Of course.
I mean, you're in the showroom and now you've got maybe 20 or 30 different testimonials. And if I walk into a showroom and I see the testimonial of, my kid's teacher or soccer coach or whatever, my neighbor or what have you, I'm say, oh my God, I know these people.
Right.
It's good enough for them, it's probably good enough for me.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah. It's a great opportunity to go ahead and speak to your customers in the store. Remember that most dealerships and most advertising agencies spend tons of money telling the message of the dealership from outside.
Right.
The message is different inside because now you know who your market is. You know who the customer in the lounge has an hour.
Yep.
You have their car, you have their money.
That's right.
They're there by choice.
That's right.
And now you could go ahead and shift them into a new car, handshake somebody, create a relationship that you might not have done before.
That's right.
And you could do it passively because oftentimes dealers have somebody from their sales team talk to the service people, and that could be an adversarial, confrontational experience that people don't like.
That's right.
This way you're having them on the screen, and now they become a buddy at the store.
Yeah,
they have a friend at the store without even talking to them.
That's right, that's right. And when you think about it, dealers, I know that this is an interesting point too. Let's say a dealership sells 200 cars a month. Chances are, if they're saying they have a 20% closing ratio, which arguably they may or may not, that's out of 1,000 people they got to sell 200 cars.
Right.
Right. When you think about that, that means that 1,000 people walked inside that dealership in order to do business.
Sure.
Do you know how many small businesses would love to have the exposure with messages to those 1,000 people? You know what I mean? That come in, and meanwhile dealerships aren't even utilizing.
It's rebranding inside your store. So they were familiar with rebranding outside their store or remarketing.
That's right.
You're rebranding. So even if they don't buy from you today, maybe they'll buy from you in the future because of the way of the experience that you provide them inside the store. And if they go somewhere else, odds are they're going to come back if that store doesn't do the experience the way you did inside. If every store is a vanilla box, then what makes you're only buying the car as opposed to buying the experience.
That's right. And we haven't even gotten into things like the finance products that are in there. Be sure to ask about a service contract when you go in. Be sure to ask about tire and wheel with full demonstrations on there.
Exactly.
2 o'clock at a dealership, on a Toyota dealership on a Saturday afternoon, you might be 6 deep in F&I with a 2-hour wait. Well, what are those people looking at before they get into F&I?
Exactly.
So the best case scenario is that now they've seen presentations on the screens and they say, hey, by the way, Mr. F&I manager, Mrs. F&I manager, I want to know more about that service contract.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. They're asking. They're starting the conversation because they're a more educated consumer.
Sure.
Yeah, so they see the product throughout the store, they see why you're different, and they learn a little bit before they get into the box, and now they can go ahead and ask the right questions.
That's right, that's right. And it's funny because we want more customers to come inside of our stores. I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? Is the digital experience is great, but most dealers will tell you, I built this $40 million facility, I want people to come in, right?
Exactly, that's the reason why they bought it.
That's right, that's right. And this is one way to have that wow factor when they do come into the showroom, isn't it?
And they also want to go ahead and separate themselves from the competition because all these new stores are popping up, and the manufacturer mandates say they have to do this certain store to look a certain way, but the manufacturer does allow them to make certain changes. So the opportunity that they have is for them to go ahead and create what makes your store unique, and with our products and services, two stores selling the same exact cars can customize their solutions to meet their needs specifically. So they don't have to worry about like having the same program as someone else has. They can make their experience unique through digital signs.
That's right. You know, we could sit here all day and come up with ideas because I'm just sitting here thinking about all of the applications, but how many dealerships need good people, right? You walk into a dealership and what's wrong with having, hey, we need technicians. You know, this is what our offering looks like. You know, we have benefits, we have this, we need salespeople, we need managers or
That's a great idea.
Put that all in the showroom.
Sure, you have the customers right there. They obviously live local. It's an opportunity to go ahead and recruit to the people that are coming in your store.
That's right, that's right. For dealers out there, you know, this is something that you really want to take a close look at, especially if you care, if you truly care about the customer experience in your dealership, then show that you do. I mean, make it easier, make it nicer, make it a much more, give it a much more of a wow factor when that customer walks in your store, and you can start by doing that, you know, with the company right here, Digital Dealership System. It's the company that's going to be on your side, not just for the installation, the equipment, but also the creative. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
A pleasure. Good to see you again.
It's always great catching up with you. Thanks.
Thanks.